Dear students, welcome back to another video, and in today's video I'm starting a new topic, and that is chemical bonding on your screen. So you will learn about the chemical bonding, chemical bond and types of chemical bonds. So let's start the video. So first thing first is chemical bonding. Any of the interactions that account for the association of atoms into molecules, ions, crystals and other stable species that make up the familiar substances is termed as the chemical bonding. So chemical bonding is making a sort of linkage among the atoms of different elements. Why this is happening? This is just happening in order to stabilize the atoms. Like the atoms, they must have 2 electrons in their valence shell, that is the outermost shell, or 8 electrons in their outermost shell in order to stabilize. So if 2 atoms are found in the valence shell, then that atom gets stabilized, and if 8 electrons are found in the valence shell, then they are stabilized. So except like noble gases, every atom requires to stabilize itself. So how does it stabilize itself? It stabilizes itself with the help of the chemical bonding, which is forming association among the atoms. That's how different molecules are formed, ions are formed, crystals are formed, compounds are formed, and this is a continuous process that is happening. Now, how is chemical bonding occurring? Just because of the formation of the chemical bond. So before moving towards the chemical bond, I just want to tell you about the chemical bond actually develops with the help of the valence electrons. The valence electrons are those electrons that are found in the outermost orbit of any atom. So I hope that you understood this phenomenon. So a chemical bond is a bond that holds the atoms together with the help of those valence electrons that are lying in their valence shells. So this is basically a force that binds ions or molecules together. So chemical bond is a force that binds the ions or molecules together, and it helps form a chemical compound. So chemical compounds are like water. This is the most common example. Water is made up of hydrogen and oxygen. So hydrogen and oxygen atoms, they are combined together with the help of the chemical bond. Then we have sodium chloride, NaCl. Sodium is a metal while chlorine is a gas, so these are associated together with the help of the chemical bonding, and chemical bond obviously is formed between them, so they are forming sodium chloride. And the carbon dioxide, which is a form of a gas. Types of chemical bonds. So there are mainly 3 types: ionic or electrovalent bond, then we have the covalent bond, and coordinate covalent bond or dative covalent bond. So how these types are originating? These are basically originating due to those electrons. They are existing due to the electrons. There are 3 things you must understand at this point. Either the valence electrons are lost, or they may be gained by certain atom, or there might be sharing of those valence electrons between the atoms. So we'll proceed with the ionic bond first. Ionic bond is a type of linkage formed from the electrostatic attraction between the oppositely charged ions in a chemical compound. Such a bond forms when the valence or outermost electrons of one atom are transferred permanently to another atom. It means one atom is going to lose its electron, and the atom that loses its electron, the valence electron, it develops a positive charge, while the atom that gains the electrons in its valence shell in order to complete its octet or duplet, so that develops a negative charge. Hence the 2 charges are created, the positive charge and the negative charge. They are attracted together, so electrostatic force of attraction is existing between the atoms, Hence the ionic bond is formed, which is the strongest bond. So it is formed between, usually it is formed between the elements of two different groups, that is the metals and non-metals. I have quoted the example here like sodium chloride. Sodium is a metal and chlorine is a non-metal. Then we have potassium chloride. Potassium is a metal and chlorine is a non-metal again. And then we have magnesium fluoride, in which magnesium is a metal and fluorine is a non-metal. So ionic bonds characteristic is it is formed usually between the elements of metals and non-metals. We'll clarify our concept with the help of this example of ionic bonding in sodium chloride. So if you look at the sodium atom, then it has the atomic number 11. It means its number of electrons, they are actually 11. These electrons, they are distributed among the three shells. The first is K shell. Its capacity is 2. So 2 electrons will occupy the K shell. Then 8 electrons will move to L shell. And the 1 electron out of 11, this 1 electron will move to the M shell. So this is the valence electron of sodium atom. If you look at the chlorine atom, then the chlorine has got atomic number 17. It means electrons, the number of electrons are 17. So it will distribute its electrons like this, the 2, 8 and 7. So in order to complete its octet, it means in the outermost shell or the valence shell, it must have 8 electrons. So in order to make it up, it will take the valence electron from sodium. So it will make the sodium chloride. So once the sodium atom loses its valence electron, this electron from its outermost orbit, then it will develop a positive charge because it has lost the valence electron. So sodium ion will be formed. As a cation, since being positive, it will move towards the negative electrode, which is a cathode. So it is a cation. Next is chlorine. After accepting the electron, the valence electron from the sodium, it will complete its octet. You can see here 2, 4, 6 and 8. Now 8 electrons are lying in the outermost shell of the chlorine. So it will make a chloride ion this way, and after accepting that electron, it will become a negatively charged ion, which is termed as anion. Since the anion is a negatively charged ion, so it will move towards the anode. That's why it is named so anion. And this is how the sodium chloride develops the ionic bonding in it. So the sodium chloride is an ionic compound. Now here is another example of magnesium oxide. In magnesium oxide, again the ionic bonding is existing. We will see here. Okay, so in the magnesium ion we are having 2 electrons with K shell. Then in L shell there are 8 electrons, and in its valence shell there are 2 electrons. It means this magnesium atom can lose 2 electrons, 2 valence electrons easily in order to stabilize itself. So this will lose its 2 electrons, and hence in the L shell it will have 8 electrons that will make it positively charged. Like after losing 2 electrons, 2 valence electrons, it will develop the positive charge, and this is Mg2 positive. This is stronger. Now the oxygen atom. Oxygen atom has got 2 electrons in its K shell. Then in its L shell there are 6. In order to stabilize itself, the oxygen will take these 2 electrons from magnesium, and after gaining them, it will make 2, 4, 6 and 8 electrons in its valence shell. So this is how after accepting 2 electrons from this magnesium, it will develop the negative charge. Since 2 electrons are shared, so it will develop this charge 2 negative, O2 negative. So this is how the oxide ion will be formed. In this way, they will make the magnesium and oxygen atoms, they will unite together with the help of the ionic bond, and they will form MgO, which is magnesium oxide. So strong electrostatic forces of attraction between ions of opposite charge form the ionic bond between them. So magnesium oxide, the ionic bond that is formed by the magnesium oxide is basically stronger as compared to the sodium chloride. So this is it. I hope that you have understood what is chemical bonding, what are like various types of bonds that are existing, and in this video I quoted the example of sodium chloride and the magnesium oxide in order to clarify the concept of ionic bonding. So I hope that you understood it. If you like this video, then you can subscribe to my channel, and if you want to just share it with your friends in order to spread the knowledge, then you can. Thank you so much. I will see you in the next video. Till then, take care.